to Hawk Talk, everyone. This is Season 2, Episode 3. We're going to be doing a lot of episodes coming up over the winter break, so you're going to want to tune in for those. If you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. You can also leave a comment or email Tim Field, TIMFIELD, at anselm.edu. We'd also like you to follow us on our Instagram page, at St. Anselm Men's Soccer, all spelled out. And if for some reason YouTube's not working for you, we're always streaming on Podbean and Apple Podcasts. So without further ado, today we have two new guests on the show. You might not recognize them, but they've had their own unique journeys that have led them here. We'd like to introduce sophomore number 17, Jonathan Alves, out of Peabody, Massachusetts, and junior number 22, Michael Fortin, out of Goffstown, New Hampshire. Guys, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Hey, guys, before we get into the interview with you, there's one thing that I wanted to update everyone on, and I'll be updating you guys on this as well. But those of you who follow us know that our little buddy Silas Brown had to have a pretty major surgery last week where they actually went in and cut into his spinal cord. That's about the details that I have. I was confused after they told me that. But the good news is Silas is doing very, very well. He's home now, recovering, and the surgery was a major success. So everyone who was thinking about him and praying about him, we thank you. And Melly, Matt, we can't wait to get you guys out there with us again sometime soon.
Yeah, for sure. We were all following along on Instagram and hoping that everything went well with the surgery. So we're glad to hear all that good news. But back for Mike and Johnny, something interesting that I was kind of thinking about while I was making the script and kind of thinking of questions to ask you guys is you guys have both had pretty different experiences up to this point. But one thing that you have in common is that neither of you have played a game yet in a St. A's uniform. Even though it's your second and third year in college, you haven't stepped on the field for us yet. And we're going to get to those reasons. So let's start with Johnny. For those of you who don't know, Johnny missed all last year with the ACL tear, which he suffered in the preseason game against Plymouth State. And before that, I believe it was the winter after his senior year of high school, he suffered an ACL tear in the same knee. So back-to-back ACL injuries, back-to-back years. So it's basically been over two years now since he's played an actual competitive soccer game, and he's had to rehab and bounce back from obviously those two devastating knee injuries. So Johnny, I'm sure it's been very emotional and a tough time for you over the past couple of years. But can you talk about those experiences about blowing out your knee twice and what it's been like sitting on the sidelines all this time?
It's definitely been tough. Obviously, the first time it was after my senior season had ended, so there was still a long break before I would be back to playing. And I was hoping I'd be fine for college soccer, but obviously I wasn't committed to a team or anything, so that was very nerve-wracking. But luckily, I got on the St. A's roster. But I definitely came back a little too early trying to play in preseason when I definitely should have stayed off the field a little longer and rehabbed a little longer, which is why I ended up tearing it again. So then I had to go through another 9-10 months before I stepped back on the field. And finally now I'm going into almost probably a year out of my second surgery. So feeling good and ready to get back to playing.
So, Johnny, I remember you and I talking when you first came on last year, the first day of preseason, and Bruno and I had our doubts if it had been long enough. But, to your credit, the doctor told you to go and you were ready to go and you wanted to show us what you could do. And it sucks that the injury happened again. But let me ask you this. That year of being not only a member of the team, but the best cameraman we've ever had, what did you learn on the sidelines? Did it help you prepare for the college game and what it's going to be like?
It definitely helps, having a year under my belt. Even though I wasn't playing, I was still attending lifts, and I still went to practice pretty much every day. And the games that I wasn't filming, I was on the sidelines with the team, so able to talk with my teammates, and I got a good bond with my teammates before even playing one game on the field. So it's definitely helped me out having a year to like learn everybody's names and like become good friends with everyone on the team.
Yeah, so even though you had an injury, you were able to stay on campus and you went to class with the guys, and you guys did whatever it is college guys do on Friday nights and Saturday nights. And, I'm sure you guys had fun with that. So moving on to Mikey. Mikey's a junior, but none of you know who he is. And that's because Mike transferred from St. Joseph's College in Maine, where he played 2 seasons in their program. Mikey, glad to have you on board.
Yeah, great to be here. Really excited. So basically, to talk a little about kind of what brought me here to St. A's was, so we had a coaching change at my previous school at St. Joe's, and just a lot of things were different about my second season there, and I just wasn't sure if that was a place where I want to continue the rest of my college career and education. So I began the transfer process, and when I was looking at schools, actually, there was kind of only one real school that I was really planning on going to, and it was St. A's, and that was for a multitude of reasons, but the main reasons being it was close to home. I'm from Goffstown, New Hampshire, so it was really close to home. So it was a place that I knew. It was a coach that I knew. I've known Bruno since I was really young. I worked for him with his soccer camps and everything. So, and also when I was looking at places, I didn't want to start over 100%. I wanted to go somewhere where I might be a little more comfortable. And I knew a lot of the guys on the St. A's team. A lot of them I played club with when I was younger. So it was kind of just all around a perfect fit for me to continue my career at St. A's. And so far, even though we didn't have a fall season, with the practices we had and the guys that I've hung out with, I'm really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, so I definitely agree with a lot of the points you just mentioned. I experienced those when I was going through the transfer process. But we're definitely excited to see what you can add to our team. I think I'm excited about is we finally got a left foot on the roster, which I think that'll serve really well for us. But Mike, I think you've looked great so far in like our fall trainings. You've added kind of another kind of weapon, left back player. Obviously, we needed some depth at the outside back position, and again with the left foot, as I mentioned. But how do you think everything has gone so far in your first couple months on board our program?
I mean, everything's gone. I mean, in the crazy world we live in right now, everything's kind of gone as well as we can expect. I mean, we were able to have team lifts. We were able to practice, which is more than what some other schools were able to do already. So with the practices that we had and with the lifts that we had, I definitely felt like we took advantage of them and we made the most of every opportunity we could have. And really, I was just grateful to get on a team, get playing with the guys and get to know everyone and just kind of show everyone what I could do from that standpoint. So yeah, it was definitely good just to kind of work my way into the team a little bit.
So Mikey, one of the things, after these years of seeing different guys transfer in, you were different because honestly, it truly was like the first day we practiced. Oh, Mikey's been here all the time. Even Zach, on your first day, there was a little bit of okay, well, we got to get to know this guy and things like that. But it's like all of a sudden I had to remind myself, oh yeah, this is the first time I've actually trained this guy and barely knew him before he even got here. So you have fit in very well. Johnny, going back to you, I was also surprised on the first day of training this year to actually see you on a field and be able to watch you play. Obviously, your club coach, who is very close to Bruno and I, gave you lots of accolades, told us you were the best of the 3 guys that we took from his team. And that's pretty high praise considering one is his kid. But he also said you're an outside back, although you keep telling me you're not. But one of the things that I really liked is you brought a competitive edge and a spark that I don't know that anyone was really expecting, short of maybe Kyle and Kevin, since they grew up with you, which came in really, really handy this year with the fact that we weren't able to do the things that we wanted to do. We didn't have games. We didn't have as many scrimmages as we hoped. But we finally get you out there. We get you worked into the team. We get everything going, and COVID hits. And just kind of crazy. But I'm going to ask you what may be the dumbest question I've ever asked you in your life. And you and I both know that that's saying a lot. Are you excited to finally get out there and play once this thing opens up and we have a season?
Definitely. Like, I cannot wait to get onto the field. Obviously, like, even like just competing at practice has been like great because during rehab, like, I'd be able to do some things, but like I'd be like 1v1 like by myself, like kicking a ball around, just being able to like participate in like team practices and like competition. I've just missed it so much. So like even like the scrimmage was great. Actually like having a game, full field, like being able to fully run up and down the field was great. Like I can't wait till we actually have like a season and like games that matter and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I can't either. And I can't wait to see you out there. And I just got to add in there, if it wasn't for that huge knee brace on your leg, I don't think anyone would even know that you were hurt.
So, Johnny, one more thing that I want to ask you is kind of going back to high school and after you suffered your injury. And I'm sure before that you had a bunch of schools that you were interested in. Maybe a bunch of schools had interest in you. But did that change after you got injured? Like, I'm sure you lost a little bit of interest. Some coaches might have lost faith in you. So my question is, what did it mean to you when Bruno and Tim kind of kept faith in you, even with that injury?
Yeah, the injury definitely didn't come like at a good time. Obviously in the recruitment process, it was like December of my senior year. So I was talking to a few schools and then kind of faded a little bit. And then I had like 2 like D3 options that like were close to home. So I kind of wanted to go a little bit further away. So like they weren't like top on my list. So it was great to have like St. A's like stick around, even with like the limited soccer they've watched me actually play before coming to St. A's. I think they may have seen like one game and like maybe some film or something, but really not much. They just kind of took the word of Jed really and had faith in me. And thankfully I got a spot on the team and like met some of like friends that I'll have forever on this team. So thankful for that.
Johnny, I want to kick in from a coach's perspective. Jed was right. And it was a lot of fun when we got to scrimmage and actually watch you play. And I think at one point I turned to Bruno and just said, oh, wow. Jed wasn't BSing us on this one. So good to have you out there.
Thank you.
So switching back to Mike, I know you haven't played a game yet for us either, but I feel like you'll be able to bring a little bit of veteran experience that we kind of can use. Again, we have a young team whenever the next time we play will be. But so far, have you been able to see any kind of basic differences jumping from Division III to Division II?
I'd say probably the main difference that I've seen and I kind of am enjoying it is it's a little bit more physical, a little bit more of a physical aspect. The intensity is definitely raised a little bit, and it's something that when I was looking at schools and I had thought about and I was thinking about going to St. A's, I was like, is this something I want to get into? And I didn't even hesitate to say yes because I like intense soccer. I like physical soccer, and it's just something that I definitely enjoyed so far just in the trainings, and it's something I'm looking forward to once we get a season in.
So, Mike, going along those lines, you did mention you're from Goffstown, and I don't remember the exact distance, but what are you, about 3-4 miles away from campus?
Yeah.
What's it going to be like being able to have your friends and family come to every home game, which, okay, you were in Maine. It wasn't that far away, but it wasn't 3 or 4 miles away. So how are you going to feel about that?
Yeah, it's definitely something that I thought about. I have a decent amount of family around the area. And obviously when we had like Wednesday, Tuesday night games of my old school in Maine and my parents weren't able to go to games like that, it was unfortunate and they had to watch it online. But now the home field's only 10 minutes from my house, and that's definitely something great. I know that my mom and dad were excited about it when I told them that I was going to St. A's because they were going to get to see me play a lot more. So it's definitely something I'm excited to have that opportunity.
So for those of you who have watched and or listened to our podcast before, now is our favorite time. It's the lightning round. So, guys, we're going to ask you a series of simple questions, and we're just looking for quick answers. Okay, don't put too much thought into this. We want off the top of your head. And we'll also preface who we're asking, but you'll both answer all the questions. So I'm going to start it off. Johnny, I'm going to start with you. Okay, we just celebrated Thanksgiving. What's your favorite Thanksgiving food? Go.
I would have to go with like a side, mashed potatoes and gravy would be my number one side.
Okay, Mikey?
Squash. Big on the squash. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Weird one, I know.
I wouldn't have guessed that. I don't know why, but I just wouldn't have guessed that.
That is disgusting. All right. Next question. What is your ideal travel destination? Mikey?
Europe, probably either France or Spain. Just love soccer. So get over there and see some European soccer.
Johnny?
I would have to go with Portugal. Got family down there and obviously Portuguese, so I'd love to see it.
All right, guys. Johnny, we're going to start with you again. So far this year, let me stress this year, who's the most outgoing, loud, maybe even obnoxious guy on the team? Johnny, go.
Last year was definitely tough, but with Mike home, I'd have to go with Kyle probably, obviously. Just them two together last year was crazy, but now it's just him. So.
And Mikey?
Johnny stole my answer. I was going to say Kyle as well, without hesitation.
Okay, well, hold on. Let's see if we go 3 for 3. Zach, who have you got?
Kyle's been a little weird this year. I'll have to go with that. All right. Question 4. Mike, we'll start with you on this one. I think I already know the answer. In your opinion, what's the best rivalry in sports?
It's got to be the Bruins versus the Canadians.
I knew it. Johnny?
I'd go maybe Manchester Derby and for soccer wise.
I could go with that. So, okay, guys, last question. Well, unless I throw a bonus one out there, which I've been known to do. Johnny, with you, what are you looking most forward to once we actually have a season?
Just, being on the field with my teammates, playing an actual competitive game and winning some games and hopefully putting up like a shot at winning the E10.
I like the idea. Mikey?
I'm looking forward to showing the NE10 what we got. We got a good young new team that I think that a lot of teams aren't going to be ready for.
I like those both. Zach, why don't you kick something in on that one too?
I like both those answers. I like Johnny's answers about taking a shot at any 10s because why not? Last couple of years there have been some shock teams that have made the finals, and Mike as well. We got a young new team, a lot of weapons this year, offense and defense. So I'm really excited to just see how things come together because we actually have not only a good starting lineup whenever we play next, but we also have a good players coming off the bench as well. So I'm looking most forward to just seeing how it all comes together.
Yeah, and I'll echo your point about guys coming off the bench. This is by far the deepest team that we've ever had. We could have 19 or 20 guys playing every game and not miss a beat. So I kind of teased on it, but I am going to throw a couple bonus questions out there. These are individually. So, Mikey, I'm going to start with you. Were you doing whites or colors?
Whites or colors?
Yeah, you were doing laundry. We were sitting here waiting for you to log into the podcast.
Is it bad to say that I mix them every once in a while?
No, it means you are a guy. Okay,
right.
That was the answer I was looking for.
Perfect.
Okay, Johnny, was it a foul when Jackson went up your back or not? Because I still don't think it was.
It was a clear foul. Zach's got the tape. You can watch it back if you want.
Zach, maybe you can throw that tape up on this part of the episode. And I personally just think it was a good, solid, aggressive play, but that's me.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Had a lot of fun. So in the meantime, stay safe. Happy holidays.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks.
Take care, guys.
See ya.
All right. So thank you, everybody, for watching this podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, like, subscribe, leave a comment. As I said before, you can email Tim with any questions, timfield@anselm.edu. We also ask that you follow us on our Instagram page at St. Anselm Men's Soccer, all spelled out. You can also check us out on Podbean and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time for Season 2, Episode 4.
Stay safe, everybody.